Welcome. And this is part two, an interview with Carol Tannenbaum, her experience in the towers. So Carol, you're now in the stairway and you came out somewhere in the 50s and you realized that you were in a stairway filled with smoke, I guess.
Somewhat.
Okay. So what happened on this floor?
So I went into this office building. I was invited by the people who, for some reason, were still there working. Went to look out the window to see what was going on, and somebody came flying down in front of me. So I went to sit down and recoup from that.
What do you mean flying down in front of you? What? I don't understand.
Falling from above me.
I mean outside?
Outside, yes.
So you saw a body.
Well, I don't know if it was a body or if somebody is still alive.
Jumping out of a window?
Just flying head down.
Wow.
Just flying head down.
And did anyone else see this with you?
Nobody was at the window with me at that moment.
Oh my God. Okay. So then what happened?
So I went to sit down, and not a minute later, there was a thunderous explosion over my head. And the ceiling, which is your typical office ceiling with the metal crossbars and soft tiles, the ceiling started buckling and crumbling. And despite the message that I just heard that everything was all right, I remember actually saying out loud, "It's not all right." I had no idea what that explosion was, maybe a bomb, who knew. But I actually remembered from the '93 bombing of the World Trade Center, and I was indirectly affected by that. I was working downtown at the time. I remember learning at that time that the stairwells are free hanging in the World Trade Center. They're not very well supported. I remember thinking that I better get the heck out of here because who knows if the stairwell has been compromised. So I went back out to the stairs, and there was a gentleman there. I call him my guardian angel, but he is a real person, and I have been in touch with him. Stayed with me all the way down the stairs. I remember asking him for his business card, and I was going to take him out to dinner when this was all over, whatever it was. And as I was going down the stairs, because I have asthma, I decided when I was at the 25th floor that I was going to stop every 5 floors, take a breath, and then do another 5 floors because I was getting quite physically exhausted and having difficulty breathing.
Did you have an inhaler there with you?
Yes, I did, and I was doing the inhaler quite frequently. If there's some humor in all of this, I think the listeners may know the children's book, The Little Engine That Could. And what came to my mind, which became my mantra was, I know I can, I know I can. And the last 25 flights down, I was saying to myself over and over again, I know I can, I know I can.
Now, when you were on the 50 whatever floor, did you tell people that you thought they should get the hell out of there?
No, I don't remember seeing anyone in my line of vision at the moment, and it's sort of a blur what happened to the people that were there. I really just don't know.
Okay, and the gentleman, what was his name, the one who helped you get out?
His name is Amilcar Torrico, and he works for a company called Garban International. And if he hears this, I wish him well. I hope to contact him tomorrow.
So he was, how full was the stairway about this time? Was it crowded with people, or? What was going on around this time? Do you remember the stairway?
It was surprisingly not full. I don't recall actually any people at all. There were several stairways in my building, and I have no idea why it was so deserted, but I remember seeing people when I first started from the 92nd floor, and then practically nobody after that. And it could be just a memory problem, a blur, but I just don't remember seeing people. So finally we got down to the ground level, and Amilcar disappeared. I don't know which way he went, and I was following the direction of someone to get out to the street, heading towards Church Street, which is on the east side of the World Trade Center site. As I started walking, several gentlemen approached me, and they pointed to the third fellow that was with him, said to me, "He's having chest pains, can you help him?" And I remember thinking, here's two young strapping men that are handing over this third guy to me. So I took his arm and I said to him, "I'm having trouble breathing. Let's get out to Church Street to triage." And I had no idea whether there was triage there or not, but I decided that there was. So I got him out to Church Street, and there were medical people out there. Dropped him off with some people there, turned northward on Church Street, and the first person I saw was my brother, the photojournalist, taking pictures. I tried to convince him to leave, and he wouldn't, because he's a photojournalist. He wanted to get the pictures. So I told him that I would meet him back at his place, which was actually just a few blocks from there. I headed up in the direction of City Hall, and for those not familiar with the geography, it's just a few blocks northeast of the World Trade Center. I actually wound up being interviewed on 1010 Winds Radio, and there's an interesting story concomitant with that, because at the time my nephew was working in Newark for immigration. Since the phones were down, he had no idea whether I was dead or alive. He was listening. They let the employees go, and as he was headed home, he was listening to the radio and heard me interviewed. So that's how he knew that I was alive. I was probably about 3 blocks from the World Trade Center when my building started coming down.
Okay, Carol. We're going to take a break. You're listening to Carol Tannenbaum, who was in the towers on 9/11, and we're getting her direct story. We'll be right back. This is WBAI Special. This is the Ethical Doctor, Dr. Vikki, and we're going to be right back with our special.